Hey, Taylor Rapp here from the LA Rams. Shout out to Steve Taylor, the real sports guy, and the honorary Ram. When Steve's talk sports, you better listen. Thanks, Steve from the Rams, for your continued support and love. We are taking it all the way this year, but you already know that. Go Rams.
With Prince Bell, we rocking with Keeping It Real Sports, and we gonna be on this. We gonna be on a lot of times. I love the platform. Check in, it's the new wave. Like, follow, subscribe, and do all that good stuff.
Come on. I told you I got you. Wanna talk about the game, he can talk about it. Tennis, match, golf, he can talk about it. Don't matter what it is, he can talk about it. Any sport dude, he know about it. Safe boy bum, don't doubt it. If he tell you that it is what it is. The real sports guy in the Sandman. Talk show game in the bag, man. Rep, gon' have to throw the flag, man. Steve Taylor, Andy Sands. It's over, OVA. Game over, they don't play. From the fourth quarter to the ninth inning. NASCAR wheels keep spinning. To the 18th hole, he's still in control. Guy on the go. Coach never missing the play, cause he know the deal. This keeping it real. Sports. Come on. Keeping it real. Yeah. Let's go.
Man, another Saturday morning. Welcome to the Keeping It Real Sports Podcast. I am the real sports guy, Steve Taylor. He is the Sandman, Andy Sands. Well, we've got another big show for you. We've got it all covered. Major League Baseball, that's hot off the press. We've got quick hitters. We've got, oh, by the way, Between the Circles makes his debut today. Give me an update. NFL storylines, and of course, we'd be remiss if we didn't give you our pick six, contender, pretender, and college top 10. We're loaded. What about that, dude? Man, we are loaded. Andy, how you doing, bro?
Keeping it real.
This is our favorite time of the year. We got all kinds of topics to get to, so let's get into it with hot off the press in the World Series last night.
Yeah, so much, man. Let's rock it.
Keeping it real.
All right, partner, game one of the World Series last night, the matchup that a lot of people did not expect. We thought that the Padres were going to be the team coming out of the National League once they took care of the Dodgers, but there's just something about those Phillies right now, and last night proved it. You had Verlander against Nola in the matchup of aces, and early on, Verlander looked like an ace.
He really did. You know what? I thought that the Phillies did a great job at really making Nola the starter in game one. I mean, I thought he pitched a good game. He just a couple of pitches he'd like to have back. And when he put those over the plate, man, Tucker was all over it, man. Tucker was crushing the baseball, man. His 2 home runs catapulted the Astros to a big 5-0 lead. But, man, the Astro bullpen said, not so fast, my friend.
Well, it wasn't just the bullpen, Steve. How about the perseverance of the offense, right? They finally got to Verlander. They forced him to throw 30 pitches alone in the 4th inning, which is how they got back into the game. They cut the lead to 5-3 at that point, and then they just continued to chip away. They made it 5-5. If it wasn't for a fantastic defensive move by Kyle Schwarber to tell Nick Castellanos to move closer, he comes up and makes a diving catch with 2 outs in the 9th to send it to extras, and then JT Realmuto did the rest. Just went with the pitch. He didn't even swing hard, but in a short right field, right? I mean, the ball just jumps out of Houston more than any other park in Major League Baseball, and all he did was put the bat on the ball and ended up being the difference in the game.
Well, Realmuto was locked in the entire game, and his RBI was, his RBI early on is what started the comeback. Man, these guys, man, are resilient. Man, they got a resilient bunt in Philadelphia. But I tell you, the Astros can break. they can break. And as a team, they did not hit the baseball well last night. I do not see that being a continuing trend, although Tucker hit the ball well, but it was Tucker that hit home runs in his first 2 appearances at the plate. Everybody else kind of, even the blue base hit that Altuve got late in the 9th inning, he didn't feel like he got a good swing on him. Man,
he just kind of threw the bat at the ball, and it happened to drop in. I mean, he's got to get going, Steve.
What they tell you, you hit the ball where they ain't, and that's what they, what they did. Man, relax, man. Astros are fine.
All right, and so we agree on this. Even though last night was a little bit of an anomaly, we still think the Astros are ultimately going to win the series in 6, right?
Okay, last time I checked, you never won. No series was won in game 1, and it says Astros in 6, not in 1.
That's right, absolutely. So Philly leads the series 1-0, game 2 tonight, 7:07 on Fox. All right, partner, let's get into some quick hitters.
Quick hitters.
Only one other man, or one other story in baseball could coincide with the World Series, right? And it's this one right here. Aaron Judge to the Dodgers? Are they going to go all in and really make this happen, Steve Taylor? Because if that happens, I don't want to see what happens to the rest of the National League next year.
Well, it was also Judge who didn't hit the baseball well against the Guardians. It was Judge who also didn't hit the baseball at all against the Astros. So, and last time I checked, the Dodgers was at home. So what? You want to marry two entities that like being at home this time of year? I'm just saying.
All right, partner, what do you got?
Well, man, a melancholy, man. Quick hitter, man. Vince Dooley, man, the great coach of the Georgia Bulldogs, man. Man, he passes away, man. He won their very first national championship in 1980. I was glad that he was able to see them win another national championship this year. Passes away at the age of 90. But Vince Dooley, a major cornerstone in the Georgia Bulldog football program. Kind of melancholy goodbyes to this guy.
Yeah. Oh, sad to see him.
Oh, by the way,
Steve Taylor, what are the Colts doing? Matt Ryan benched. I get it, he leads the league in interceptions, but Steve, this is a future Hall of Fame quarterback who nearly won a Super Bowl. I know the 28-3 joke, I get all that, but Steve, they're not even in the Super Bowl if it wasn't for his MVP season. And you're just going to give up on him when you still have a chance to win the division? What are your thoughts on this decision?
500 team, man. And Sam Ehlinger, wait a minute, is that the same Sam Ehlinger that played quarterback last year when Carson Wentz went out? I'm just asking these questions. I need to know. Oh, man, not looking good, man. I'll tell you what else, man. Man, the NFL trade deadline is upon us, man. Monday is it. We see, man, if you look at the bottom of the screen, man, these 3 players have been traded. Tony, and we see Christian McCaffrey, and now Robert Quinn traded. These 3 players are on the market. Claypool, Hunt, and this dude is always on the move, man. Man, you give me your thoughts, man. And then you got Aaron Rodgers that's saying, can I get some damn help here? What you think?
I don't think Aaron Rodgers is getting help. I think if Kareem Hunt goes to Buffalo, that pretty much seals it for the Bills in the AFC if they can get a running game. They have a little bit of an semblance of one now, but if they had somebody like Kareem Hunt, look out, right? So, and Chase Claypool, really? Pittsburgh? He's one of the best receivers in the AFC, Steve. That one I don't understand, but maybe it's a salary thing. I don't know.
I don't know. He's not getting a lot of targets right now, and you know what happens, man, when you don't get a lot of targets, man. Guys go to crying and everything, you know. So,
give me the ball.
Yeah. Man, I tell you who don't cry. These guys, man. Let's do it.
History making week in this edition of Between the Circles. First of all, history was made in the minor leagues as we go to the ECHL, where we see Jason Payne on the left, the head coach of the Cincinnati Cyclones, and Joe Martin on the right, the head coach of the Kalamazoo Kingwings. The first two North American men's pro hockey black coaches coach against each other in the history of pro hockey in North America, and we saw Jason Payne and the Cyclones winning the game by a score of 2-1. The history continued in the big leagues as well. In the NHL, Phil Kessel became the all-time leading consecutive player. He is the new Iron Man with 990 consecutive regular season games without missing the ice. He broke Keith Yandle's record, who set last year with the Florida Panthers. Congratulations to Phil Kessel, but that wasn't the only reason for Kessel to celebrate, as he, at the same game, scored his 400th career goal in helping Vegas win over the San Jose Sharks by a final of 4-2. Elsewhere in the NHL, some rough news out of Ottawa up north. Josh Norris, their star center, just signed an 8-year deal in the offseason and now could be out for the regular season as well. He injured the same shoulder that allowed him to miss 15 games last year. Sources in Ottawa say it's the same shoulder, but a different injury. The game of the week earlier this week had to be Tuesday night, featuring the Colorado Avalanche and the New York Rangers. Colorado going into New York, looking at the return of Georgiev after being acquired from the Rangers in the offseason. Igor Shesterkin's backup last year. He is now the number one guy in Colorado, and he showed you why in this game, folks. Georgiev with 44 saves for the defending champs, and they win this one in a shootout 3-2. Not to be outdone, Shesterkin was one of the stars of the game as well with 42 saves. This, an early candidate for Game of the Year. And let's end on a positive note, if we could. You hear me all the time talk about Marc-Andre Fleury's nickname, the Flower. Well, literally, this week, he brought flowers into the locker room. He ran an ad for the Minnesota Wild to help fans get behind the team this year, and they call it not weird, just wild. Flower, you are one of the best to ever do it, my friend. And that'll do it for this week's edition of Between the Circles.
Nicely done, my friend. Nicely done. Let's tip it off.
All right, partner. Before we get to what you want to talk about, can I just say, is there a reason you didn't text me back last night when I gave you that text about what my Cavaliers went out and into Boston without Darius Garland and won in overtime after being down by 15 points at the half? I just want to know why I didn't get a response to that. So,
because it's 10-28.
That was in the text.
It was 5-28. If it was 5-28, that would be.
So you were sleeping. Is that what you were saying?
Okay.
All right.
Okay. No, man. Like again, man, I don't impress early on in the NBA season. I know, but hey, look, we're gonna wait. You know, I got a new segment that we're gonna break out. It's called "Keep It a Buck," where we break down all the entities of the sports world.
Okay.
And we're gonna keep it 100, keeping it real, keep it a buck. That's gonna happen, and we're gonna break down a lot of things, and we're gonna put a lot of things to bed, a lot of questions, because we got lingering questions going on. We got lingering questions, and while I'm talking about let's start with the questions that's in LA. Let's start with the Lakers. Okay, let me ask you this. Riddle me this, Batman. How can you have the same team that you had last year, the same big three that you had last year? Okay, well, wait a minute. If we fire the coach, things will get better. So you fire the coach. Things are the same. Oh, but if we get rid of the old shooters and bring in young shooters, things will be different. So you bring in young shooters, and the best shooter you get is Matt Ryan. And I'm not talking about the guy you was just talking about. I'm talking about this guy, Matt Ryan. Are you serious? Okay, and then let's just go to the other side of the building, okay, where Kawhi, the co-winner, is starting to appear again. See, I mean, dude, you've been off the last 2 years. How in the hell are you tired? Can somebody please help me understand this? Andy, please help me understand this. How in the hell can you be tired? Why are you load managing already? These are questions that need to be answered in LA.
I have another question for you. I thought the Spurs were supposed to be the worst team in the NBA this year. And right now, they're in the playoffs. You can't get.
Can you go with this again? It's 10-29.
I know that. Listen, I'm not saying they're gonna be in the playoffs, okay? But you told me 2 weeks ago they were tanking.
We are
4-2. 4-2 is not tanking.
We are.
That's all I'm saying.
We are. We just look at the schedule. We ain't playing nobody.
Okay.
It was the Bulls, for crying out loud. Yeah, nephew, I'm talking about your Bulls. It was the Bulls.
Hey, real quick, before you get to that, real quick, I just have to say this. The Lakers are the worst team in the NBA right now. Worse than the Kings. They're 0-5. Sacramento's 0-4. I just wanted to throw a little dig for the guy that didn't want to come back home and finish on a high note. Just a little dig.
Yeah, we'll fire the coach. Things will get better.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, that worked out for you.
Yeah, I think we have some storylines. All right, Steve, let's start in LA again, although this one was in Seattle. So how about the Seahawks in first place in the NFC West? Geno Smith, they must have known something we didn't. I mean, he's playing pretty well so far. And the Chargers, can we please stop the hype on the Chargers?
We tried to tell you. And you were right. The game was in LA. It was in LA.
Oh, okay. Well, I was confused by the graphics, so that's my fault.
Yeah. The game was in LA, where you see the receiver going up over J.C. Jackson. That J.C. Jackson, the big time guy that you got from the Patriots, the cornerback that you got from the Patriots. And let me ask you this, Andy. Just for the sake of argument,
okay.
You know what position I played when I played football?
I believe it was cornerback.
I played cornerback. Have you ever heard me talk about J.C. Jackson?
Quite a bit.
Yeah, my point. Next graphic, please.
And I love doing this show with you. All right. What the hell is happening in Green Bay right now? I mean, was Devontae Adams that good?
Yeah. You know, now you got guys, man. And then Marquez Valdes-Scantling, the other guy that you said that wasn't that good, he looked pretty damn good in Kansas City. I'm just saying, okay? I mean, you get beat by both New York teams, and now it's the Commodores. You losing to the Commodores without Lionel Richie for crying out loud. Are you serious? I didn't know who the hell I said the Commodores. I meant what I said.
Hey, listen.
You losing to the Commodores without Lionel Richie.
Oh, okay. But you know what? I think that Aaron Rodgers should talk to CBS or ESPN and say, hey, can I get that Tom Brady TV deal? Because that would be a lot better than this right now. All right. And the last one we're going to talk about, I don't think anybody except maybe Steve Taylor saw this coming on Monday night.
Yeah. Ask my nephew. He'll tell you, man, I called you. Look. Let me tell you something, people. Anytime the entire panel from ESPN says, we got one team, run to the other team real quick and put your money on the other team, okay? Yep. And that's what happened. Fields and the Bears Zappy, I love that. They zappy Belichick in New England, and they pulled a big upset, man. And they ran them into the middle of next week, man. It was not funny the way that they ran the football down their throat. I mean, Justin Fields looked like Lamar Jackson, for crying out loud.
Yeah, well, he has that ability, Steve. When he gets the amount of time to throw the football, and he makes good decisions, which he did on Monday night.
When his play caller puts him in a position to make those plays, he finally had a damn good scheme.
Yeah.
They finally put together a good scheme. Luke Getsy finally put together a good scheme. I'm not putting that on that kid, man. When you drop back and your back foot hit and you're getting sacked, it's a problem, people. And that's the problem that's been happening in Chicago.
You know who didn't have a good scheme? And we don't get to do this often, so we're going to do it this week.
Yeah, I know. This dude. I mean, what the hell was you thinking? Man, the Zapper had been zapping people all over the league. They had been passing out Batman emojis, zap, pow, biff, all of that stuff. They had been doing it. And you decide you going to start Mac Jones? You going to ride with Mac Jones? Is that who you going to go with? Mac Jones? Come on, man. You get what you get. Stick him up.
Yeah. So, and he's going to start Mac Jones again against the Jets. I don't get it.
Who? Mac Jones? You get what you get.
All right, let's make some picks. Damn, man, we crushed it in the NFL last week. How about that? And you were worried about having the same picks, which didn't fare well in who you got, but we'll get to that later. But listen. I told you I've got something brewing in the NFL, and I've been for 2 weeks now. I've been right on. So let's make some picks this week.
Let's rock it.
All right, Carolina at Atlanta. Steve, this is for first place in the NFC South. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
PJ Walker, the starting quarterback. Baker Mayfield is healthy, but oh surprise, he's on the bench. Atlanta banged up right now, but at home, and I look at this as two things. Which kicker do I trust in a game-winning scenario, and which quarterback might be able to not turn the ball over more times? I think I'm going to go with Mariota at home and Who at home, so give me the Falcons to stay in first place after this week.
That's a noble pick, sir. And if you didn't do all of your homework, you tend to want to go with that because that's a trendy pick. But I, young man, did all of my homework on this one. See, I know that the Falcons are down Cordell Patterson.
Yep.
That's going to affect their running game. I know that the Falcons last week against the Bengals, even when they were down big, continue to run the football. Okay, I know that the Carolina Panthers stopped the run. I know that the Carolina Panthers started to make plays down the field last week. When I look at the injury report of the Atlanta Falcons, they're missing their starting cornerback and their starting safety. That makes problems. I think PJ gets enough done. PJ makes enough plays down the field, utilizing Chuba Hubbard and company. It's a total team victory. Give me the Panthers.
Giants have maybe one of their toughest road tests, if you don't count going to London against Green Bay. Here against Seattle, in Seattle, Steve, this is a late game. That means the weather could come into play. The 12th man is the 12th man. The Giants are off to a phenomenal start. Saquon Barkley is back. Daniel Jones is not turning the ball over. But I don't know. I'm falling in love with the Seahawks all of a sudden. And I know you're probably going to pick against me, so I'll take that as well. But I like Geno Smith at home, so give me Seattle.
And see, that's where you just messed up. You said Geno Smith, okay? And will the real Geno Smith please stand up? Well, he will this week. I'm telling you, the Giants, Brian Daboll has figured it out. It ain't pretty, folks. But at the end of the day, you don't give a damn how it looks. You just care about the end result. And the end result has been dubs. And that's all the New York Giants has been doing is getting dubs. And when the end of the clock ends tomorrow, they'll have another dub. Give me the Giants.
All right. I'm surprised it's in here because we normally don't pick our games, but we had to this week because the games are complete crap. So, San Francisco at LA. Fox claims this is the best rivalry in the NFL right now. These two teams very much dislike each other, as you well know. San Francisco got embarrassed at home last week against Kansas City. The Rams have not played like a Super Bowl contender as of yet. But Steve Taylor, I just have a feeling that your Rams are ready to show everybody and remind everybody who they are. And this is the team that brings that out in them. I'm taking all the home teams this week. Give me the Rams.
Man, it ain't a rivalry until you won a few. San Francisco's won the last 7 regular season home games against the Rams. I'm telling you, man, this is the truth. I'm keeping it real. We ain't beat them, you know. The Rams' offensive line has been in turmoil since the very first week Brian Allen returns. The Rams' wide receiver core has been in turmoil since the beginning of the season. Van Jefferson returns. The Rams' running attack has been in turmoil recently because of Cam Akers. Insert Henderson. The Rams are at home looking at these guys. Hey, man, we're going to get it done this week. We're going to get that dub. Go with the Rams.
All right, so we'll see how we do. Can we make it 2 weeks in a row? Well, we can't because we didn't pick the same teams. So one of us is going to have a really good week and one of us not so much. But, all right, I think we need to skip Contender Pretender for this week. Let's save it for next week. Let's get right to the College Bowl.
You've heard the rest. Now here's the best. It's the Keeping It Real Sports College Football Poll.
Boy, if you're in our top 10, you're in trouble because this is the 4th straight week that we've had a new number 10. And we welcome for the first time, the Oregon Ducks are back in the top 10. We had them in there to start the season, Steve. They found something now, and they're rolling right now.
Okay. Let me preface what I'm getting ready to say by saying we said all along that they can take the top 3 teams pretty much in interchange. Okay, I really haven't come off of that. There is a tier, and then there's a second tier, and then there's a third tier. And from 6 to 10 has been the third tier of our poll. The Ducks enter that tier this week at number 10, following an impressive victory against UCLA. My question is it a letdown this week on the road against California? Better not be.
Couldn't be. California's an awful football team. All right. USC, after the bye last week at Arizona, I think Arizona has a solid offense, but I look for USC to take care of business.
Yeah, USC, man. The only loss was on the road versus Utah, man, by a point, man. It's a solid football team, man. Lincoln Riley, man, has them guys ready to rock, man. You said we got them at number 9.
Oklahoma State gave us a little bit of a scare last week, but they found a way to beat Texas. They got a big one against Kansas State. That's one of our who you gots this week. Can they get it done?
Yeah, definitely going to be a big-time test, man. Man, this here conference is one of my favorite conferences, man. I pay a lot of attention to this conference, man. I like the way that Oklahoma State, man, flexed their muscles, man, and defeated Texas. I watched every play of that, and that's Oklahoma State.
TCU continues to be impressive, Steve. This is a team that legitimately could sneak into the playoff if they run the table and win the conference championship. Do they overlook West Virginia today, or do they continue to be as impressive as they have?
Well, the Horned Frogs, man, they've been playing it to the max. Max Duggan has been very solid, man. He's a senior, man. He doesn't rattle, man. They're going to continue to move on. I like the Horned Frogs.
All right, and the top 6 hasn't changed. Let's fly right through them. Clemson got a little bit of a scare against Syracuse. If Syracuse had a defense, Clemson would have lost that game. Michigan continues to be Michigan. They had a bye week. They've got a Michigan State at it's the ABC game tonight at 7:30, but it's at home. But as bad as Michigan State is, Steve, I still think this is going to be a close game. Alabama defeated Mississippi State. They reminded people who they were. They got a good one against LSU tonight. Well, let's see if they continue to take care of business. But, all right, you talk about the top 3 because that didn't change for a reason. These 3 teams are interchangeable the way they've been playing the first 7 weeks of the season.
Well, the Vols, man, what I'm looking at is them not having a slip-up today versus Kentucky, looking ahead to Georgia. This is big test today because Kentucky definitely can put pressure on you and stress you out. So not a hiccup today for Tennessee. We'll be paying close attention to that one as we get to number 2, the Georgia Bulldogs. They've got Florida. Same deal with them. Let's not look ahead to the big matchup against Tennessee because, man, that is a massive matchup, a colossal matchup looking ahead. And then as we go into number 1, the Buckeyes, man, they go to Happy Valley. They're going to have their hands full at Penn State. Penn State is going to be an ornery bunch. Can they win the game? I got Rankin, Waller. Rankin asked me, do I think the Buckeyes are going to win? Yes, the Buckeyes are going to win. Rankin, don't ask me that. Of course the Buckeyes win.
Hey, I will say this. I'm glad it's a day game because whiteouts scare me when it comes to us in Penn State. So, all right, who you got?
Well, let's see, man. Let's rock it. Who you got?
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready?
All right, last week we made the same picks, right? So we suffered the same consequences. But I have a feeling we'll both bounce back.
Oh yeah, I'm bouncing back. I'm feeling good about my picks this week.
All right, first one up, Notre Dame, a dog at Syracuse. This is probably the first time in a long time they've been an underdog in this game. Syracuse had a tough one against Clemson. Notre Dame has won 4 of the last 5 games in this matchup. With Steve Taylor, I look at talent on the field. I look at coaching experience, and I think Dino Babers knows how to coach a football team a little bit more than Marcus Freeman. And Syracuse is still a really good football team. I think they're going to win at home today. Give me Syracuse to cover.
Young man, I'm here to help you out once again.
Yeah. Here we go.
Notre Dame is starting to turn it around. Notre Dame is starting to figure out who they are. Notre Dame is going to go on a roll. I like them outright, but if you're going to give me two and a half, give me Notre Dame.
All right. Boy, this is a tough one here. Oklahoma State, slightly an underdog on the road against Kansas State. Kansas State is a tough place to play, Steve. Taylor Martinez, Spencer Sanders. Oklahoma State defense, Kansas State defense. Boy, this is basically a straight up who you got, right? I don't know that I'm buying Oklahoma State anymore after what I've seen the last 2 weeks. I'm asking for trouble here, but I'm going to take Kansas State in an upset.
Yes, you are asking for trouble because Kansas State averages rushing 232 yards a game. That's number 11 in the country. Pretty good. Problem is, that's what Oklahoma State's defense does the best, is they stop the run. The Oklahoma State offense is averaging scoring 34 games in every game this year, 34 plus. That's going to continue today. And you're going to give me a point? Give me the number 8 in our poll. Oklahoma State Cowboys over the number 22.
All right, our last game of the day in our picks, UCF at home, a slight favorite over Cincinnati. Cincinnati is 0-4-1 against the spread in their last 5 road games. The Knights are 4-0 following a loss. Steve, I hate to do it, but I'm going to take Cincinnati.
You know, that's the best pick you made today. Because Cincinnati is going to get the job done, man. Hey, look, the Knights struggled in their last high-profile game. That's going to continue today. Let me tell you one thing about the water boy, and I'm talking about the head coach of Cincinnati. He's turned that program around. He's only lost 18 games since he's been there. That's going to continue today. Give me the Bearcats.
All right, partner, we're getting to the end of the show, and that means, did you see that dude?
Oh, my goodness, man. Well, this one here was a no-brainer to me. And normally we just kind of tell you who that dude was. But, man, words doesn't do this dude justice. I kind of got to show you. Take a look at this. C.J. Taylor for Vanderbilt leaps the running back, strip sacks the quarterback, picks up the ball, and runs it in for the touchdown. I think that's called the trifecta. C.J. Taylor, he's that dude. Give him a sticker, Andy.
All right, partner. Another one in the books. A lot to talk about. It's only going to get more intense. It's only going to get more exciting as we move through these next few months. And you and I think, are going to have some heated discussions over these next few months based on what I saw earlier in the show, which is exciting for our fans. That's what they want. They don't want us,
man. You quit being all boring and
agree on everything.
Because I sometimes I gotta put you in your place just because. I gotta put you in the headlock, a little brother headlock. Sometimes it's okay.
Yeah. And sometimes I get to kick you in the nuts to get out of it because I'm right.
Right. No, and this is a PG show. That he meant the ding ding.
The ding ding. Okay, the ding ding. Yeah. All right. It's PG. Really? You want to go back to some of those episodes? I don't think it's PG.
Stop it, man. It's been fun, man. But we gotta run until next week.
We wish you love.
Peace. Deuces.